if you're a Gemini born May 21st to June 20th, what can you expect for the month of May 2017? Let's tune in and find out. So Geminis, wow. So I really feel like work is going well. I feel like there's finally, a feeling sense of accomplishment, and you're working in something that you love and you enjoy and you're good at. It doesn't, that doesn't mean it doesn't have its own problems or its own challenges, but all in all, it feels really good. I do feel that there are some issues in relationships or some anxieties or fears around relationships, and I'm really feeling it like in my gut and my stomach, and so I'm feeling a little anxiousness about my personal relationships. But I feel like work is finally like really taking off and really doing well for a change. So since we're talking about relationships, let's not waste any time and start with those of you in a coupled relationship that are looking at May and are wondering what's in store for you and your significant other. So let's tune in and find out. So this is a month where there's a lot of clarity comes in. There's some things that you've been dealing with are going to come to a head. It feels like that could come to a head around the Scorpio full moon on May 10th. So you want to be a little careful about what you say or how you say it. There will be sensitive ears, right? People will be extra sensitive around that time. And the energy of Scorpio, they can sting, right? Scorpios can be really direct, and it's a fire energy, and can, like Zorro, just cut you right down. So just be a little careful. And it could even be that, your partner treats you that way, and you could be a little more sensitive, and it could be a little scary. So just be aware that there's a bit of an intensity around that May 10th moon, and you just want to be a little more gentle with yourself, with your partner. Now, the good news is that what it brings to head needs to be brought to a head. It actually needs to be discussed. It needs to be brought out into the light of day to have a conversation about. It is something that has been the issue's been skirted, and whether that is you've got somebody who's in rehab and has a drug problem, or you've got, and you don't know if it's your partner or your child and it's creating disagreements in the family, or if you're somebody who is, you're sort of new with this person, you've been dating, a couple of months, but there's this question mark about, are they the one, and you have somebody else on your mind, or they have somebody else on their mind, so it's this kind of like bubbling energy that you have to look at. I do think that as you have a conversation about it, I would, if you could, avoid it around, a couple days on either side of that May 10th Scorpio full moon, and be a little more gentle about it. Or if you need to go to therapy, or you actually are in therapy and you're working with somebody, just allow cooler heads to prevail, right? You don't want to jump in and sting the other person or hurt the other person. So you want to just take things a little slower and work through the issues. By the end of the month, it feels like it'll be resolved, and you'll have a real clarity about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, right? And whether or not you're together, or whether or not you're apart, or whether or not, you're changing, the help or the support that you need. And it could even be, a disagreement over somebody who's working for you, or the amount of time you're spending at work, or the amount of money that you're putting towards a project. There's a lot of different things that can cause conflict in a relationship. Okay, so let's see about those of you that are single. Oh, well, wait, there's also, Geminis, there's also a lot of good energy for the relationships, or just in general for you this month. But in terms of relationship, I do feel like by the middle of the month, from about the 15th on, those things start to get patched up. They start to get worked out. And at the end of the month, there's this sort of resurrection of yourself and feeling a sense of like, I've done the right thing. So whatever your choices have been, by the end of the month, it does feel like you're on board with your decisions, and it feels good, and it feels like you've made the right decision. Okay, so that's a good thing. All right, now for those of you that are single looking for love, let's see what May holds in store for you. So if you've met somebody recently in the last couple of weeks, or even last month, we had the Venus retrograde, which is hard to see something. You may find here in the month of May that they're not quite exactly who you thought they were. If you've been dating them, you might go, well, I didn't know this about them, and I don't really like that. So some of you may find that if you were dating somebody, you're going to move in the other direction and let them go as you get more information about them. It may not suit you. Now, some of you will be able to go, you know what? Doesn't bother me in the least. I'm glad they were honest with me. I'm glad they told me. But you know what? I'm okay with it. It's cool with me, and I'm not gonna bother me. So there's just new information that's going to be revealed if you've already been dating somebody new, meaning the last 6 weeks to 2 months. There may be new information about that individual, about that situation, and that you will be able to accept them or not. But I think for the most part, Geminis, I think that I don't feel like it being a game changer or a deal killer. So I think it's something that you'll be able to handle. Now, if you're interested in creating a relationship, let's see, with someone new, feels mainly like there may be some opportunities around the first part of the month, and if that's the case, you want to slow play it, right? You just want to slow play it again, because Mercury's retrograde, but it goes direct May 3rd, which means the communication starts to get cleared up, and certainly by a week or 10 days later, things will start to be more in order, and you'll start to have more clarity. Venus will be in its full power, I think, by May 20th. So certainly by the end of the month, you have a great opportunity to meet somebody new and to be able to really strike up a conversation with them, get to know them at a whole new level. And there's also a lot of fun. Like, I see you having a lot of fun. I see impromptu outings, day trips, just evenings, just spending time together and getting to know one another. So I do feel like there's a lot of opportunity to make time to be able to spend with somebody that you're interested in getting to know. So lots of fun there. All right, so let's look at relationships for those of you that are in money, in financial money, for those of you that are interested in how that looks for the month of May. Well, I feel like the early May is really good, especially if you're in sales. I feel like you're killing it. I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity to sell a lot of stuff. I feel like you're doing really well, and it feels really good. So I feel like early May is just, is really good. There's a lot of things happening and popping. So definitely feel like money is happening and coming in for you, especially the early part of May. There may be some unexpected wins or things that you even forgot about. Things like last fall you sent in a rebate, and now all of a sudden, $100 shows up in the mail, right? Or it could be that it's your government from your taxes rebate comes in. But I do see rebate money or return money coming back in. It could even be that there was a court case and you completely forgot about it, and it never went anywhere, and this was 5 or 10 years ago, and now here's the $1,000 being returned to you that have been held in court. Like something random, bizarre, and weird. Like there's this left field money coming in. It's not a lot, but it's enough to go, wow, that's cool. I'll use that. I'll take that. So it feels like this random kind of weird money showing up. That feels closer towards the end of the month. It doesn't feel like it's coming from gambling or something like that. This feels like it was something that had to go through a process, and now is coming and giving and finding its way back to you. So that, like I said, could be the court system. It could be a rebate situation. It could even be a loan where you loan somebody money and you've long since written it off, that you're never going to get it back, but they haven't forgotten, and next thing you know, there's a check for $300, something like that. It's easy money that shows up. Okay. If you are a gambler, it does feel like you may be a little more lucky around your new moon, which is in Gemini around the 25th. But I always hesitate to tell people go gamble. But if I was going to do something, I would do it around that new moon, around the 25th. And I never bet more than you can afford to lose. Okay, so it's not a sure thing. It's never a sure thing. So. For those of you that are gamblers, there's that. All right. There's also, for some of you, You may get some insurance proceeds back from, maybe you had to put out for a situation, maybe a loved one got hurt or they had to go rehab or something. I feel like there could be some refund money coming back for you as well. All right, so now let's look at your health for those Geminis who are interested in health. Well, I do feel like you're going to have to keep your health up, because I feel like you're really busy this month, Gemini. I feel like you're busy with with work, with play, with travel. There's a lot happening, a lot going on, and I think that you need to take good care of your health so that you don't get just run down. It feels like just that run down feeling when we're stressed too much, when there's too much expected of us, and we're giving, and so it feels like you could possibly get run down. So you want to do vitamin C, you want to take your time, you want to drink a lot of water, you want to get some rest, you don't want to abuse too much of the alcohol or the drugs, right? You just want that balance is the key. So really, balance is a good thing for you to be able to strive for this month. I think if you're able to keep things in check, keep things in balance, you're going to have a really, really terrific month, Gemini. It's like really opening up and really positive. And for those of you that are interested in health and wellness, I think that's fine. It would be good. Notice, but you really want to listen to your body. For some of you, what's coming up are the lower extremities, like knee joints, ankle joints, and Achilles, as well as what do you want to call it? Shin splints. That's the word I'm looking for, shin splints, right? So just want to pay attention to those areas and listen to your body. If it starts to feel like it's too much, don't push it, right? Then soak, do the things that you know to do to be able to help eliminate that inflammation. But otherwise, I feel like it's a good month. I feel like you'll have the support to get things the way that you want them. But again, not too much pressure on yourself. Keep it in balance, keep it in check, because you're really super busy this way, and it's a big month, and it feels in some ways very easy and fun, and but at the other way that it is hectic. There's a lot to do. Okay, so anything else for the month that might be unexpected for Geminis? There may be something that you were anticipating was going to go a lot longer and it shortens. Whether that's a program that you thought was going to go for 8 weeks and it gets shortened to 4, or whether, it was something that somebody told you was going to happen in 3 weeks and instead it happens next week. But there's this hurry up energy. So whatever, that comes to your mind, you were thinking, oh, well, that's going to happen in 6 weeks. Just know that it could be shortened. So there's something in your life that gets shortened and it happens really quickly, and it's a good thing. It doesn't feel like it's a bad thing. It's just kind of what is. But I see some sort of like surprise, like, oh, I wasn't expecting this right now. I was expecting it next month, or I was expecting, it could even be in the form of visitors. Well, I wasn't expecting you to come until July, and here you are, it's May, right? So this unexpected, it feels good, but it's just this shortening of time. Okay, so all in all, Gemini, I think this is a great month for you. You're busy, you're happy, there's a lot to do. There's a little bit of, challenges around your relationship initially, but it gets worked out through the month. There's more clarity and understanding for yourselves. Definitely feel like you're in control of what you want in your life. It's about you being able to listen and to trust your instincts, and also listen to that body, know when to slow down, know when to move forward. There's money. I feel like lots and lots of money, especially for sales, those of you in sales, or if you want to sell anything, you can still, take advantage of that Mercury retrograde up until May 3rd, and maybe even a few days beyond it, where people will just buy your stuff, right? And they don't really see it in the way that they would see it at the end of the month. So take advantage of that. All right, Geminis, thanks so much for viewing. And if you like my intuitive astrology, please click like. Feel free to comment below and share it with your friends. And I look forward to connecting with you again next month.